Distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Natasha and I stand to raise a petition under Order 40. A petition may only be presented to the Senate by a senator who shall affix his or her name at the beginning thereof. The petition is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed. Distinguished colleagues, this petition is hereby referred to the Committee on Code of Conduct, Ethics, and Public Petitions to revert to the Senate as soon as practicable.
Petition.
Any other petition? Yes.
High Chief Emmanuel Orisejolimi Uduaghan, the Alema of Warri Kingdom, has broken his silence over the ongoing dispute between his wife, Senator Natasha Uduaghan, and the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. In a strongly worded statement, Uduaghan urged the Senate to accord his wife the respect and dignity she deserves. Uduaghan, who initially chose not to comment, said recent developments forced him to speak out. Certain sentiments are being stirred up unnecessarily, distracting from the serious underlying allegations, which should concern every discerning individual with sound family values, he said. Defending his wife's integrity and political mandate, Uduaghan asserted that Senator Akpoti Uduaghan was duly elected by the people who have great confidence in her leadership. He described her as a devoted wife whose commitment to truth remains steadfast. The Warri chief also disclosed that he had personally intervened in the matter, meeting with Akpabio to ensure the dispute was handled with maturity and respect. I approached the matter with the utmost responsibility as my duty as a traditional leader who fosters peace and harmony. We reached an understanding to resolve the issue amicably, Uduaghan revealed. However, despite their agreement, he lamented that his wife continued to face alleged harassment since she has confided in me about her interactions with the Senate President, whom I consider a family friend, he stated. Expressing unwavering faith in his marriage, Uduaghan declared his love and commitment to his wife. I would never trade her for anything. She's the greatest joy of my life, he affirmed. Calling for respect and fairness, he urged the Senate and Akpabio to uphold dignity in dealing with Senator Akpoti Uduaghan while allowing legal processes to take their course. The controversy continues to draw attention as observers await further developments in the unfolding political rift. On the other hand, Uduaghan has warned Akpabio's wife to stay out of her allegations. The senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Uduaghan, has called on Mrs. Unoma Akpabio, wife of Senate President Godswill Akpabio, to refrain from involving herself in the ongoing sexual harassment and intimidation allegations against her husband. The dispute between the two parties has escalated in recent days, drawing national attention. The conflict began when Senator Akpoti Uduaghan refused to sit in a designated seat during a Senate session, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules. Tensions heightened after she appeared on Arise News last Friday, accusing Senate President Akpabio of blocking her motions, maligning her character, and intimidating her following her alleged rejection of his sexual advances. In response, Mrs. Akpabio held a press conference in Abuja dismissing the allegations as baseless. She emphasized the long-standing cordial relationship between their families, which predated Senator Akpoti Uduaghan's marriage. However, in a letter dated March 1, 2025, addressed to Mrs. Akpabio through her lawyer, Victor Giwa, Senator Akpoti Uduaghan urged her to stay out of the matter. The later titled, "Stay Away from Senator Natasha Akpabio's sexual harassment and intimidation allegations against Senate President Godswill Akpabio to safeguard your sanity and that of your family," stressed that the allegations were personal to the Senate President and that he should be left to defend himself. Akpabio stated that she had endured harassment from Akpabio but was now compelled to speak out. The later reading part, "Our client is not desirous of calling you out into the unfortunate saga concerning her allegations against the Senate President and wishes that you restrain yourself from delving into the obscene circumstances. While she has tolerated all the harassment from the Senate President, she was constrained to reveal the unfortunate torture and victimization which she has been going through in the red chambers under the hands of the Senate President." The senator further asserted that she had concrete evidence to substantiate her claims and urged Mrs. Akpabio to allow her husband to address the allegations independently. "Our client has concrete evidence to substantiate her allegations. We will suggest that you leave the defense of the allegations for the Senate President to maintain your sanity and that of your family," the later added. Akpabio reaffirmed her commitment to defending Nigerian women and upholding family values. "Our client remains resolute in defense of Nigerian women, and as a family woman, she will continue to maintain our common heritage and family values," she stated. On the other hand, Akpabio, the wife of Senate President Godswill Akpabio, has initiated multiple legal actions against Natasha Akpabio, the senator for Kogi Central, over accusations of defamation. These lawsuits comes after Akpabio's remark during a Friday interview on Arise TV, where she alleged that the Senate President had made sexual advances towards her both at his office and residence in Akpabio. In response to these claims, Akpabio firmly rejected the allegations, asserting that her husband is a disciplined individual and described the senator's accusations as lies. Seeking redress for what she described as scandalous and salacious comments, Akpabio filed a fundamental right suit at the Federal Capital Territory High Court. In the suit, she claimed that the accusation have caused her and her children emotional and psychological abuse. The court is being asked to issue a restraining order preventing Akpabio from making further spiteful statements that infringed on Akpabio's fundamental human rights. The suit also demands the sum of 250 billion naira in exemplary, punitive, aggravated, and general damages, in addition to any other orders the court deems necessary. Akpabio contends that Akpabio's comments have severely damaged the reputations of herself, her family, bringing them into disrepute and causing harm to their public standing. Furthermore, Akpabio has requested that the court order the senator to publicly apologize, with the apology to be publicized in 2 national newspapers. In her suit, she also seeks 1 billion naira in punitive and exemplary damages for the harm caused by the defamatory statement, as well as perpetual injunctions barring Akpabio from making any further defamatory remarks against her family's reputation. Break. As of now, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio has not commented publicly on the allegations made by Akpabio. Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Students has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and leadership of the National Assembly to wade into the altercations between the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpabio, before it degenerates further and causes international embarrassment to the country. NANS made the call in a statement signed by its National Vice President Akimbodu Celiola Felicia on Saturday in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Akpabio, who had a face-off with Akpabio during Senate plenary over seating arrangements on Friday, accused the Senate President of sexually harassing her. Akimbodu, however, in the statement, sued for peace and urged the duo to sheath their sword for peace to reign. She said the National Assembly is a key organ of the government, which should be occupied by exemplary and forthright representatives of the people, adding that the face-off between Akpabio and Akpabio should not be allowed to fester. She urged further that if the issues, particularly the allegations of sexual harassment leveled against the Senate President by the female senator, is not properly managed and rested, it would cause international embarrassment for Nigeria. The NANS leaders observed that though Senator Akpabio has not substantiated her allegations, the matter should be looked into with a view of ascertaining the veracity of her claims. She, however, noted that the red chamber and the green chambers are hallowed and should not be bogged down by frivolities, especially now that Nigeria is going through economic and financial stress. Akimbodu, who urged the Senate President to live up to his position and extend on olive branch to the female senator, equally charged Akpabio to give peace a chance to give